Affairs program where we discuss national burning issues ranging from security to the economy, politics, health, education, agriculture, and anything that contributes to the nation's development. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some of the financial policies of the Apex Bank, and somehow this definitely would transcend to the economy generally. The topic of discussion for today would be banks' recapitalization amid financial inclusion bottlenecks. I take that again. Banks' recapitalization amid financial inclusion bottlenecks. What do you know about bank recapitalization? And if you are, you own a business, you are a farmer, be it a medium or small scale business, I think this conversation would actually help you a whole lot in terms of accessing loans and other services, right, that can actually help your business or businesses, as it were, to grow. My name is Omifemere, and I have my guest in the studios who is an economist and development expert, Dr. Aliyu Ilyas. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Now, here is the background to the conversation this morning. No fewer than 28 million Nigerians, mostly in the rural areas, have no access to banking, the Central Bank of Nigeria has said. Now, the Apex Bank Deputy Governor, Financial System Stability, Philip Ikeazo, who stated this on Tuesday, added that the CBN and stakeholders have been working tirelessly to reduce the financial exclusion rate. The demographics mostly affected by this financial exclusion are women, youth, rural communities, and micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs. He said, and I quote, "Despite this progress, there are over 28 million Nigerians who still have no access to formal financial products and services, and certain challenges persist." According to him, as a result of these efforts, the exclusion rate had dropped from 46.3% in 2010 to 26% as of last year. The CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso said the ongoing recapitalization of banks comes with several benefits to the economy. He said recapitalized banks will take bigger risks by capturing underserved markets into the financial net. And in line with its effort to deepen financial inclusion, the Apex Bank introduced new minimum capital requirement for banks. And recall also that the CBN on March 28th announced the two-year benchmark or mark of banking, which began on April 1 and is expected to end on March 31st of 2026. Right. Just to start a conversation, Aliyu Ilyas, you are an economist and also development expert, and I know, of course, that we've had, conversations around financial inclusion bottlenecks in the country and how much of a concern it is to know that we have a large number of Nigerian population who are unbanked or who are not financially included, in terms of being abreast, with the latest trends. I mean, it's kind of seamless now that people can actually transact, from anywhere. And do not also forget the cashless, policy as well, trying to ensure that we have less money in circulation such that people can transact online without necessarily moving about with, bulk of money in their pockets or possession. But at the end of the day, some people will tell you it's really funny. I don't know if it's funny to you too, that we have people, despite the growth in terms of civilization, creation of awareness, and after all, they say the only thing constant in life is change. We still have people who are hell bent on not having a bank account. I'd like to get your thought first of all to what you make of the financial inclusion status of Nigeria. No fewer than 28 million Nigerians, mostly in the rural areas. Well, that's always been the case, though. They have no access to banking.
Thank you for having me once again. I think first and foremost, we need to, not all our agency that is bad. We need to credit CBN and its agency. Over time, they've done well in terms of financial inclusion. I can tell you that, and I can compare that to other countries. Why? Certain an example. For instance, when we talk about financial inclusion, it's about accessibility. So when we talk about accessibility, I don't think there's a particular area in Nigeria where we don't have POS again.
Yes.
Can we say there's a particular area where you don't have point
I
of
agree we
sales?
have POS
Now,
operators
now,
everywhere.
now it simply means that the CBN need to work more on educating people,
Yeah.
that there is need for them to come into the banking fold, because some people are still hell-bent, like you said, that decide that no, I don't trust bank enough, let me keep my money in the bank. I can also refer you back to USSD. You hardly find a place anywhere in the world where you will transfer money now and the receiver will receive it now, like it happens in Nigeria, because if ash so
Yeah.
before it's fly, and you don't really need internet most time to
Yes,
actually carry
yes,
out
for the
that. So
USSD.
with your phone you can do that. So for me, when you talk about financial inclusion in terms of accessibility, accessibility, I mean accessibility to banking services, not loan. Now for me, Nigeria, especially fintech, we have come a long way, that we have really done well, that most countries even outside Nigeria are coming to learn and see, and that's why you see Jackpot syndrome is shifting now. At our fintech experts, because most people are needing it. In fact, if you need to go and check how many fintech platform we have on financial sector, you'll be surprised that the only thing is that we want our insurance, our other financial sectors to also key into the platform. But I can tell you, in terms of fintech, in terms of financial stability, with POS you can transfer and you can also receive.
Yes.
So it makes a lot
And
of
even
things.
cash money,
You
yeah.
can even cash money. So you can make a lot of things easy. For me, in terms of inclusion, I think that aspect we can score them better.
Really?
Yes.
Are you oblivious of the the issues that comes with this electronic payment services?
Right. It's a two different thing now. When we talk about electronic channel, we are talking about infrastructure now. So that simply means that before you can actually embark on that, there is need for a strong infrastructure. For me, if you even ask me, most online banks are even doing well in terms of transfer compared to conventional banks, because I can tell you most online banking, if I don't want to mention, once you transfer immediately, in fact, hardly find a failed platform. For me,
Yeah.
I'm even thinking if they are in cahoot with some telecos, because
Okay.
yes, everything has to do with telecos. If at the point now, go and check, most telecos we want to establish, like I think the leading telecos is even having a banking. They have one now. So, and the one they have, most of them are shifting to also have a banking platform. Perhaps most of those online or fintech are working in hand with those telecom.
About these online banking platforms, as you can see across the national dailies, I don't have to mention the names, so it
Right,
will look like we're
right.
promoting, but they seem to be doing the most
They are,
at the
they are
moment.
doing the most. In fact, I must tell you this, that if you see some charges in conventional banks will be telling you that, I'm sorry, it's not our fault, it is the telecos that is collecting the charge. So for me, for this online banking, I mean financial fintech rather, to really function well, they are having good business with the telecos, because is there any banking service you can do without telecos?
But is it safe?
Well, when you talk about safe, that's another level of it. There's a report that talks about how much people have lost because of online transaction. When you say the word safe, it's another thing to discuss. But when you talk about availability and accessibility, I think Nigeria has done well in terms of providing different alternative for us in banking sector.
All right. It's good you've been able to, throw light or shed light on the efficiency of this online banking platforms. Really, they've really helped a number of businesses, especially
Right.
small scale businesses.
Right,
I
small
think
scale
almost all
businesses.
small scale businesses in Nigeria, they depend on this.
Right,
And
because
quite frankly,
in fact, let's even go to people that do business online.
Yeah.
Transaction, that you don't have to have a four-wall office or four-wall bank. You don't have to go to bank. Everybody just have to transfer 10 naira, 20 naira. Before you know, it makes you a whole lot of. So if there's any sector, if there's anything to actually celebrate in that sector, I think they have done well. I can tell the level of jackpot in that area is huge now, because a lot of other countries are looking at our fintech expert and say, you know what, come and do those things you are doing in your country.
So is it that we really don't have an enabling environment for these fintech experts to thrive in Nigeria, and that's the reason why they are being,
I don't think so. Fintech is a global activities.
Right.
So it does not matter where you are. Perhaps even those people that are Japan can also work from Nigeria. You know, they can also commission you to work from Nigeria. So it's not really necessary that you must be in that country, but you have a global opportunities, you know, just to make the code, do the code, and do a lot of things. So I think it's a good one for Nigeria. That's why we must deepen it more. You know, since you know that we have strengths in that area, we can still do more. You know, beyond this is just one phase of it that has to do with you know, insurance can also go that, pension can also go there. A lot of activities that has to do with finance can go into that. In fact, school fees and other things still need a platform that will be robust. You know, these are the things that they need to start to. So now, having get that, now we now need to develop different products. You know, when you have a fintech, you know, products is another thing. So people should now start thinking, what products will I design that will be, you know, be in tandem with fintech and contemporary way of payment.
But do you foresee a future where the conventional banking system would become obsolete in such a way that the online banking, you know, platforms will not be the order of the day? Taking a look at how reliable these online, you know, banking platforms are. I know some of this, you know, banks that we are used to before the advent of this online banking, they've really been innovative, you know, in terms of also giving this online, you know, platforms a run for their money.
It is evidence that if you go to some, even let me use Abuja, in Central area, we used to have more banks. You know, you see them collapsing because they say, okay, we are closing this, so you can use this. It's because of the number of people who comes into the banking hall are reducing. So you may know, if you have 3 branches in a particular area, you might think there will not be need for 3. Let's reduce it to 1 or 2, and that is the impact of internet. You know, with internet enabler, you can also do a lot of things. So most people, perhaps, you know, banks are also coming to knowledge that they are developing what we call self-service. You know, before you have to go to bank, and they are also giving about what we call customer experience. Now they are now thinking before you now ask questions. So they are providing short video of how to solve a problem.
Right.
You know, they are providing solutions before you even ask for it. So because of that, you may not have reasons. You know what will make me and you to go to bank now must be a critical issue that has to do with maybe you are debited and you have to clarify. You know, maybe you have to do some documentation. Apart from that, do you know you can open? Let's not say, do you know? I have opened a lot of online banking right from my phone.
But
so you can also open a conventional.
Is it true most of these you know, people on board this online banking platforms, they don't get to deposit huge amounts of money there because of
okay, like let me tell you, the one I have the experience.
Yeah.
They will tell you the limits.
Okay.
Do you want to go higher? Do you want 50,000 transaction? Do you want to do 200,000? Do you want to do beyond a million? So it depends on what you want. That I must also tell Nigerian, you take the risk you can bear. You know, because
but
you know,
not with money.
I do not even know if NDIC is covering this fintech.
I think this one is actually powered by NDIC and the central bank.
What I'm actually saying is that when you have like Heritage Bank that had issues,
yes,
you know, people have to go back to NDIC. NDIC has to give them a particular sum. So if we have fintech that actually fold up, what happens? These are the questions. So if we can build a structure around them, they are good to go, because you know, in Nigeria we have 230 million, let's say active 150 million. So a lot of transactions to actually carry out. So I think they should still come more, so that we can, you know, the more the merrier. The more we have more people, the more we have more companies, the more we have good service. And that's what we are actually canvassing for, even in the oil sector. There should be competition. It's because we have competition in telecoms, and that's why we have good services. You know, if this one does not do well, there's a particular time you can port to the next one. So, and that's what actually happened on the in pension, right? I think before pension too, you cannot move, but now they say you can move. Because of that, those ones that they are with you, they want to like hold you, you know, package you, give you good experience, offer you better service. So when we have good service, I mean competition, it's okay. If you can have 100 online bank, you actually want particularly, perhaps, you know, before they don't used to charge. I think that's part of why most people even go to online. Most online are not charging you, but now they are now charging.
But the charges are now outrageous.
What charges is charges. It depends on what you buy outrageous, and depends on how well you use it. You know, if you are a person who transacts, you receive, you send, you will know that it's actually huge.
All right. Now, we've been able to ruffle feathers, by comparing and also contrasting the conventional banks, to the online banking platforms that we have now. One would believe that that is no news to you listening out there. But before we talk about banks recapitalization and what it really means, let's not talk about financial inclusion in detail. I mean, I recall very clearly in 2017, our dear country, Nigeria, in Sokoto State, we were actually the pioneer, members of a new CDS that was created at the time called Financial Inclusion CDS, right? And experts, from the Central Bank of Nigeria actually came down to train us on how to sensitize and also educate people in rural communities on the need for them to be financially included. That's just to tell you some of the measures and policies, of the Central Bank of Nigeria, at making sure that more people are actually enrolled, or brought on board the financial, inclusion ship, if you like. However, to know that we have no fewer than 28 million Nigerians, mostly in rural areas, why is the case always with the rural areas?
Right. I said earlier, our problem is not actually the accessibility. Our problem is the willingness of people to actually come on board. Ideally, when you are in urban settings, rural settings rather, in rural settings, you have that cautious optimism. You'll be scared that, okay, I have 5,000, how will I go and keep that 5,000? Meanwhile, I need the day to day. Perhaps I have what we call colo. What we call I think there's an advanced one now. Advance of it now.
Okay.
You grammarian. What's English?
Is it like a piggy? A
piggy. Thank you, yeah. Piggy. Yes, something like that. So that is just what people believes in. Even my parents, the world is changing now. There's a way they used to tie money on the edge of their clothes.
Yes.
When they have to keep the money,
Absolutely.
They keep those how do you call it, money that they use frequently. That's where they actually keep it. So it's like that. So we need to keep educating people to a larger extent. As it is now, you hardly find a family or a Nigerian who is up of age that doesn't have even a common cell phone. And once you have cell phone, that means you have accessibility to either have a bank account or even transfer. You can transfer, you can actually receive and confirm. And like I said, we have point of sales everywhere now. But the thing is, you need to convince people that their money is actually safe. And another thing that will help us is that people need to see structure. So if it's microfinance in a particular environment, people want to see the structure, the little strong. This age now, you don't need to have a very big building for a bank anymore. A shop, a normal shop where the receiver will be there, right? So, and that's also what I think, like you said now, during when you were serving, that your responsibility was to sensitize people. So I think we need to go in different language, maybe it be a work of NOA or in support with central bank, to tell people that it is better, safer, and I wouldn't say it attracts any interest, because we hardly see interest now from banks, but it's better safe to actually save in banks. But I still have one or two banks who still give you interest on your savings.
Okay.
But it's quite rare. In fact, I have to take my time to find out, is this bank actually giving out?
Are they among the tier 1 banks?
Yes.
Okay.
I must tell you, I was surprised when I saw it. And another person, the person said, I received 40,000. For what? They call it interest for a year. Before that was what we always look out for. But now, bank service charge is even more than honestly what you receive.
I mean, so if you have 5,000 naira in your account in less than 1 month, it has reduced.
So it makes us, maybe financial expert like us, to start consulting and telling people that, sometimes it's better you invest your money in some instrument, rather than keep it in the bank. Because
when you say instruments, what do you mean by that?
Okay, that's what we call could be insurance, sort of. It could be takafu. There are different one whereby once you keep it, it will be attracting more rather than you. Because if you have 1 million naira, and you have it in the bank, I can tell you, within 2 months, your 1 million naira would have reduced with charges.
Yes.
It's normal now. There will be charges.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's better sometimes to keep it there, right? So when you want to collect it, then you collect it with something attractive. Right, because sometimes you hardly see people that understand how to use money. Let me use that. keeping such money beyond 500,000, 200,000 banks, because there are other places they can actually keep that money. That money, maybe your 1 million would have attracted 50,000 in the place of you have a reduction of 10,000. In terms of charges. So, and that's another. And we have arbitrary charges. That's another problem. We have. In fact, I was in telecom parliamentary.
All right.
Telecom parliament.
All right.
At the NCC head office, and that's part of what we actually said, that the level at which charges is coming up is becoming so arbitrary, and banks will be telling you that it's not their fault. It is the platform that you are using. So, and they're the one that are removing the money. And we're saying now you have to go in partner with these banks.
Yes.
All the charges cannot be coming to the customer. If you send USSD now, they will deduct. If you receive your bank's statement, they will reduce.
Yeah.
If they update you, I don't know, they will charge
also
you.
have card maintenance.
Card maintenance, a lot of maintenance. So it's quite arbitrary, and that's part of why we are agitating. I think what led to it was depletion of our data. You just see that your money is reducing, your data is reducing. You have to know why, how. There is need for transparency. I think that's what. In fact, particularly we have called a particular bank. Okay, it's an SMS. We saw that we have been charged. We now have to call. From Save the Consumer perspective at NG, we have to call. They now say we are sorry. It's not we that is charging you. Bank is telling us that it's not bank that is charging us. It's the telecom service provider, and they show us they proved to us that they now told us. You know what they now told us? That they will encourage us not to be using SMS or USSD. We should come to their app and do our operation there.
That's another marketing strategy.
Bank is telling us that they are giving you alternative where you will not be charged. Beyond marketing strategy, I agree with them that once you do it on your phone, you will be charged. But if you come to our app, you will not be charged.
But you still need internet data to use the app.
Well, yeah. Will you compare a charge of 10 naira to a data you use? That's another thing. And like rightly said, it's also a systematic way of telling you to come to their platform.
All right. Now, the CBN is quite optimistic that with this bank recapitalization, measure or strategy, that will be able to address some of the financial inclusion bottlenecks. We'll be able to talk about, some of the deficit, the infrastructure deficit, and financial literacy gap as well. You've also been able to talk about some of the regulatory challenges, right, from the high compliance cost, inconsistent, policies, deterring banks, from serving underserved, populations. But before we talk about how this, bank recapitalization can work, financial inclusion, a mantra of the CBN, help us get sense of what bank recapitalization is all about.
Right. Quickly, I think the last one was during Professor Charles Soludo. He's now the governor of Anambra State. I think he did very well, and it makes a lot of sense. It's quite substandard or quite low compared to Nigeria to have this level of bank capitalization. I must tell you, to have $1 trillion economy, according to President Tinubu, we need to do more, and it has to come to our financial sector. I can tell you that it's long overdue, because if you look at our banks, they are declaring huge profits these days. Have you taken note?
Yes.
A lot of banks are declaring huge. In fact, at this point of challenging economy, go and check bank. That means they are the one benefiting.
I think some of them declared the profits they made. Was it last week or last 2 weeks?
Yes.
And it was across the national daily.
So it's a whole lot. I think this forex issue is also helping them.
Okay.
They benefit more from it. So for me, I think it's long overdue, and it will help financial inclusion.
Okay.
You know why? Different banks now will now have capacity to spend more, advert, go to different places, their location. But for me, I think it's long overdue. But I don't have fear. You know why?
Why?
Those banks are all rich already. They can actually do, and you have just 3 ways of actually recapitalize. One, sometimes you have to go to the market. We have seen them coming to with equity, capital equity, as in to sell shares all over. People are buying. In fact, one said they are oversubscribed, that it is okay. Have you noticed that? That's closed already because they have a lot of money. So one is to go to the market and look for the money. Then the other alternative you can match, we saw during the Chasuludo era, was the what bank was Standard? Is it Standard Trust? But a lot of banks come together to form to become one. So if you don't have the capacity, which I doubt if there's any banks in Nigeria, maybe small banks that will not have the capacity to stand alone, they rather go and look for many. So another option
but
is
this recapitalization, does it also cover microfinance?
Yes, all across. So the thing is, so another alternative is for you to merge.
Okay.
Two banks can come together to really form one and whatever. Then the third one is to downgrade or upgrade. You can actually it's an opportunity for you to downgrade. What we mean by downgrade, it's in category. We have international banks. Some banks in Nigeria are international in nature. Maybe they are the one that will bring 500 billion. When you are international, so simply means you are across the shore. You are in America, you are in London, you are in Addis Ababa, a lot of places. So I think those are international banks. Then we also have banks that are local, maybe within Nigerian shore, which is about 200 billion. Maybe you have to have an office across the 36 plus FCT. That's strong. But then we have some banks that are regional in nature. They only cover the north central. They only cover, so those are within 50 billion. Then we also have non-interest bank that are looking at 20 billion. For me, is that not too small? Because when you say non-interest bank, it can be everywhere. Because we have about 4 of them now, non-interest bank that are there now. For me, they are strong enough to pay more. Then we now talk about maybe small microfinance and what have you. So, but by and large, you can also downgrade. You can, if you think you don't have 500 billion, you can come down to 200 billion. You think you don't have 200 billion. We've seen banks that downgrade a whole lot and serve only a particular. And then we also have merchant bank. Those are another area that people are not looking at. As one of them declaring profit, you need to see the profit they are declaring. So that's another category of bank. So for me, by and large, I don't think those money are too much, because banks are declaring a lot of profit. 500 billion for me, for international bank at this level that we have dollar at 1,700, that must be small, because you're a player globally. So that means you are breaking dollar down to naira. That shows a whole lot. So for me, I think it's the right time, because you know why? Our economy now need more liquidity.
Okay.
So, and liquidity will help us to access a lot of loans. Recall that 3 banks just gone down now. Why they go down? Recall Unity Bank was in Abuja before headquarters. Now they're out of banking sector. Now they went to Lagos to compete in Broad Street. They couldn't meet up. They are out. Like Heritage Bank, they're out simply because of. So if we can do that, and I think it's a long time gap for that recapitalization, we should be looking at the economy, not saying after 20 years. Because if you look at during the last one, during Obasanjo era, Tinubu era, it's a long time gap, and now they still give them 2 years. Look at that beautiful window, when you have 2 years.
Was 2 years really enough?
Very, very enough.
Okay.
2 years to recapitalize, that is 24 months. So if you want to go into the to equity, to go to look for people to buy share, it's a whole lot of time. If you want to negotiate to match, it's a whole lot of time. If you want to downgrade, the process is there. So I don't think there's in the long run, by 2026 March, I'm convinced that all of them would have do the needful.
So what impact will this actually have on small scale businesses in the country?
Right, that's another beautiful one. If you recall our banking, most of our bank actually deal with big in fact, thanks to TSA, during before TSA, it's only government that banks want to deal with. But now that every government money is going to CBN now, they need to deal with real business people. I think with that, that means they will have a lot of liquidity to actually give as loan.
Okay.
That's what it simply means. You have more money to actually give out for people to access. That will help small business. But I think beyond that, we still need to look at the Bank of Industry. I don't know where they actually belong to, but Bank of Industry as a government agent and maybe agency under trade and investment need to also do more, because you need to also create a platform for people to access more. I think during the last president, there is more money for people to actually access. I think they should do more, because a conventional bank, we know what NPR is available.
No, because I was going to ask you the implication of the NPR, because this might bring about some consistency, in the lending capacity.
No matter how available fund is there for us to get as loan, the interest rates is quite discouraging. Most people are even avoiding it. Perhaps even for you to do business now, it's better you invest. You also give your money out to loan out. It's a business on its own too. So that's the fear. So they must work on that area too.
All right. But at the end of the day, do you see this, being targeted at the underserved populations and in a way supporting economic growth, in the long run?
Well, if you ask me, yes. First and foremost, it will increase it will get close to the president, the $1 trillion plan. That's number one. Number two, that means there will be liquidity for both merchant bank, microfinance, so people can actually access more. So it will help the economy. The rate at which we will get money will be available for us to use for business will be very high compared to now. Because now, if you recall, how much was the last one? Was it around what's the amount? Very small money that if you hear it's too small for now compared to the economy. You have to look at the value of dollar, compare, or the value of naira compared to how much they actually recapitalize. I'm not sure it's up to 10 billion for the biggest bank. I can double check quickly, but the fact is that it's a good one for the economy.
All right, we're due for a commercial break. We'll be back in a moment to take your calls and also messages. So if you have any question bothering your mind with regards to financial inclusion in Nigeria and also banks recapitalization, please do well to drop those messages, or better still, save your thoughts or hold your thoughts. When we come back from the break, you can call in to fire your questions, and my guest, who is an economist, right? This is Eagles Outlook live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. We're back in a moment. Do join us again.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Looking for a professional event planner in Abuja and its environs, but don't know how to go about it? Eagles FM got you covered. Call us today and let's help you fix that event that will leave you with evergreen memories. Call 081 57 91 7278. I take it again, 081 57 91 7278. Thank you.
Wow, this feature phone is so good.
Which phone is that?
It is the itel IT5627. It comes with a 2500 mAh battery, which gives you 55 hours of standby use. Type-C charger, triple SIM slot, 3.0-inch screen, plus the 24 months warranty of worry-free use.
Huh? 24 months warranty?
Yes! Go and get yours. itel IT5627. New itel, new experience.
Have you heard of the latest car maintenance overhaul center in Abuja?
Oh, wait a minute.
BB Empire Motor Services Limited is the place. We offer a wide range of services which include full engine repair, brakes and discs, lubrication, industrial spare parts fabrication, digital diagnosing, injector and rotor servicing, wheel balancing alignment, vulcanizing, spare parts of all cars, car checker, recovery of vehicles, AC servicing and repairs of all kinds of cars. You can visit us today at a state-of-the-art multi-digital workshop located at Plot 1374, Cadastral Zone C16 along Julius Berger Road, Idu Industrial District, Abuja. You can also call us on 080-6433-3100 or 090-1066-0869. BB Empire Motor Services Limited, the solution for your car needs and services.
Please listen to this infomercial.
Hello Nigeria. Hello Africa. Do you want to work in the healthcare sector? Do you want to be a trained, certified nursing assistant, medical assistant, or caregiver? If yes, then register to enroll for Push Africa's 1-year diploma in certified nursing assistance training happening at the African University College of Science and Technology, Abuja. Targeted trainees are unemployed graduates, O-level or ordinary diploma graduates, or anyone interested in working as a support worker in the healthcare sector. For details, log on to www.pushafrica.org or WhatsApp 080-339-42015. 080-50-45801, 080-339-42015, 080-550-45801. For registration, pick up application form at our partner radio stations or visit the reception at the African University of Science and Technology, Abuja.
My people, the thing where they happen for my area,
Do you think I will now find out that you have contract to bring fresh girls?
I brought you from the gutters. Who gave you all the connects? MDG, who? Without me, you would have been nobody. But
Join Media Coalition and Awareness to Halt Human Trafficking, MICAP, on I Wish I Knew radio drama every Saturday at 10 a.m. Let us join hands and kick human trafficking out of our communities. I Wish I Knew radio drama, brought to you by MICAP in partnership with the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, and funded by the Embassy of Denmark in Nigeria.
Get the desired clients for your business and service and get your phones buzzing. From the 1st of September to the 31st of December, you can advertise and reach a large audience with the Eagles FM Ember Months package. Advertise on any of our platforms and get a whopping 30% discount. That's right, 30% discount. For more information, please call 080-5919-8658, 080-5919-8658, or 057-91-7278, 081-57-91-7278. The Eagles FM 102.3 FM Ember package is a sure way to getting a wider clientele for your business and service.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I suppose it was inevitable. Eagles 102.3.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is Eagles Outlook live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja, your radio experience you can count on. And today on the program, we are discussing banks' recapitalization amid financial inclusion bottlenecks in Nigeria. And I've been speaking with an economist and development expert, Dr. Aliyu Elias. So at this juncture, the studio lines are open. You can call in to ask questions bothering your mind as far as financial inclusion is concerned, or what you stand to benefit as an owner of medium small scale business in Nigeria, right? The numbers to call are 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal on 090-970-4450. If you're one of those who are, not having a bank account, for example, you might as well call in, to tell us the reasons why you don't have an account and why you don't even want to join, the club of, banked, population. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, very good morning to you.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Very good morning to you very good morning to your guest, Dr. Liu. I'm Simon Dauda calling from Lifecraft in Abuja.
All right.
So my question is, goes straight about ATM card. If I pay certain amount of money to get an ATM card, why should the bank be charging me certain amount of money maintenance every month or thereabout? What is the essence of doing that? Another thing is that, again, I am the one giving my card. Some time ago, precisely when I was in Kano, the ATM card had a problem, which I went to the bank, said it cannot work again, which is not up to a year. So I had to go back to my headquarters in Kaduna, that because I was going to Kaduna to get another card, which I had to pay for again. And unfortunately, the lady that worked for me to get me the card, well, they would charge me until somebody discovered after about 2-3 months. So you can see how the thing is. So I became so annoyed that why should I be paying maintenance card after paying a certain amount of money 1,000 plus. Why should it be so? That's the question, please. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Saminu Dauda, calling you from Lifecam in Abuja. Thank you very much. I'm waiting for the answer.
All right, thank you so much. First of all, my guest is not a banker and he's not working with any bank. He's an economist and a development expert, but you might want to share your 2 cents on that.
Right. I'm also a victim of what you said. So the only thing is that we can keep agitating for our rights, how we can get better. But in terms of that, I've also lost an ATM and I have to pay for it. But in terms of double charging him, I think there should be more action to that. Why should that happen in the first place?
So it's the fault of the bank.
The bank also may not be aware. Maybe